All right, guys, welcome back to another episode on Proven Power Cycles. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Eric. We are going to go over this brand new 2024 GSX-R1000r that we have in for some modifications.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate.
So as you can see, this bike is pretty much 100% stock. Actually, not pretty much, it is 100% stock. All right, so he's sitting on a full stock exhaust system, stock muffler. These things are bazookas from the factory. He's got the stock fender kit. He's got stock blinkers up here. So what we're going to do on this bike is we're kind of do a little bit of a dress up kit along with a full exhaust system and an air filter. So we are going to throw a Sprint POA air filter in there. And we are also going to be running a full M4 titanium Street Slayer exhaust system. And I'm sure you guys are gonna hear a bunch of different opinions on this, but me personally, M4 is one of my favorite exhaust systems for the GSX-R1000 platform. They are very consistent. They make very good power band all in all. We usually see a pretty clean line, and considering the cost of the the titanium system is a little bit more expensive, but all in all, when you compare the M4 cost, their exhaust systems, relative to the other companies, the power that it produces and the power curve that we see is actually very, very, very solid. I'm not gonna say it's just as good. I'm gonna say it is a damn close second place compared to some of the other bigger names. Now, I still think that the exhaust system, like I said, compared to the price, is an incredible system. I think it's great. It sounds great. It's a shorty. It's nice and tucked up in there. If you guys are looking for a nice, sleek, kind of tucked look, that is the type of exhaust system that I always recommend to people. Again, the quality, it's made in America. The quality is really good. The quality of stainless and the quality of titanium that they use is really good. Again, I'm just a big fan of M4. They're good people over there. I'm not getting paid to promote any of this, by the way. I am just saying that because it's what I truly believe in. So I want to be real with you guys. That's always been my goal on this channel, is to be real with you. And that's my real opinion, is they're a great system for the price. I think they're killer. They're doing a great job. So anyway, we're going to go over the bike. What we're going to do now, just like I do in all my videos, is we're going to baseline the bike. We are going to show you guys exactly how it comes in, the power that it's producing, all right? Now, for those of you who've seen my channel and you guys watch a lot of my videos, I'm sure you've already seen what these things baseline at and you already have an idea. But for those of you who haven't, no matter what, my process with every single bike that comes through these doors is to get baselined before we perform the work. So you know exactly where you're starting with versus how you're gonna leave the shop with. So we're very transparent and we love showing that, and we also love showing the results because we stick by our results, we stick by our consistency and our top quality every single time. And that's why we make these videos with majority of these bikes, because again, we are trying to show you guys the quality that you're getting every single time a bike comes through these doors, and it's not just a one and done, you know, we made some glory video and that's it. So consistency is our key. Let's get this thing fired up, let's get it warmed up, and let's do some baselines. We got it all in A mode and the traction control is off, all right? So a lot of times, guys, if you guys are taking your bike to the dyno, make sure they're turning the traction control off. We hear it so many times where they didn't know how to turn the traction control off and they ran the bike anyways and charged out the guys. You're not getting an accurate reading at all with the traction control on, active on the bike. So anyway. Lewis has already gotten the bike broken down. Clearly, we've already gotten the baselining done. He's got the fairings all off here. We've got the OEM exhaust system off. So we have the pile of stuff here. So he's going to do a full titanium M4 exhaust like we talked about earlier. One thing I forgot to mention is that he is getting a train and sprocket kit. We're going to run a 520. These are super light sprockets, Vortex front steel, and then we're going to run a EK3D gold chain for him. We got the flush mounts, we got a little charger he wants to throw on, we got a windscreen for him over there. Unfortunately, the tail light, they said it was an integrated tail light, but upon inspection, yeah, they kind of hit us with some false advertising on it. So the OEM, this is the OEM light back in there, but needless to say, the aftermarket one was not a integrated tail light. It was just a normal brake light. So we've already rectified that. We've already got another one on the way. We also have the fender eliminator kit on the way. So that'll get all cleaned up. You know, again, Lewis is going to start pulling it now, obviously. But all in all, though, we are making really good progress on this bike. I'm really excited to get it on the dyno, and I'm really excited to get it all cleaned up for the guy. He's going to be stoked once it's once this is all kind of cleaned up and tuned and dialed in. I have a feeling he's going to be pretty wowed by the results. Now, something I did want to point out, actually, and this is a common issue with these bikes. Let me show you guys on the header, actually. So on these bikes, it's very common that you'll hear like this tapping sound, okay? Especially with the stock headers. Some of you guys that throw a slip-on or something like that, you might be experiencing this. And what it is these new headers are linked. So you have a butterfly up here near the top end of the header, near the front part, and then you have the other butterfly down here. And what ends up happening is this chain, or not the chain, but the spring kind of gets a little loose, and you'll start hearing vibrations like this vibration kind of right here. You'll start hearing that rattle against the header, and it sounds freaking crazy. It sounds like something's wrong with your engine almost, but most likely it's just going to be this rattling around. Sometimes people that do the slip-on systems, what they'll do is they'll try to delete these cables for the exhaust servos, and they'll take them all out, and again, that just kind of leaves this dangling around, and it's real sloppy. So with that slop, you get a lot of rattling sounds. So it's very common on these bikes. So if you guys are experiencing kind of like that crazy sound, that tapping sound, rattling sound, more than likely, that's it. Not all the time. Some of you guys actually beat the crap out of your bike and you did something stupid and, you know, you broke it. But the other 95% of you guys, it's going to be that. What I would suggest is take something like a long screwdriver or something, start your bike up, put the screwdriver on there and just kind of hold it steady and then rev the bike a little bit, see if that rattling goes away. And if it does, there's your problem. All right, guys, so today is the day we are going to tune this 2024 GSX-R1000r. So we just got done doing a different one that had a full Akrapovic exhaust system and a Sprint POA air filter in it. This one has a full M4 titanium exhaust system, a Sprint POA air filter, and he's got the GP3D chain, the 520 kit, along with the super light sprocket. So this is a steel sprocket. It is a steel front sprocket. We retain the OEM gear ratio. So it's just a 520 conversion, more or less, on a good chain and sprocket kit. So it's going to be really interesting to see the difference between this bike and what the 2023 that we just got done doing. It's going to be really curious. And I actually have the graphs. I have everything set up. So that way we can do a direct overlay and see what the differences are between the two bikes with these mods. So I think that would be kind of interesting to show you guys. But let me go ahead and get this thing fired up. Let's get it warmed up and let's start the dyno session. So we're going to be finishing this video in the new shop location. We did start filming this video back at our old shop, and admittedly we did not get everything knocked out. We got to go over the final numbers. This is kind of one of those things that I usually forget to get to set. So I usually end up doing the final numbers at a later date after the tune and everything. But with that, let's go over some numbers. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do something really cool for you guys on this one, all right?
We're gonna go over the numbers, and what I'll do is I'll overlay the other gentleman that came in around the same time that this guy came in. We did a full Akrapovic exhaust with I believe a Sprint PO8 air filter. The only difference between these two bikes, they're identical bikes, both within a year of each other, both within like a couple of 100 miles of each other, like less than 1,000 miles of each other. The only difference really is going to be the chain and sprocket and the exhaust system. So I know it's not ideal because you guys kind of want to see apples to apples, but I at least want to give you guys an idea as to realistically kind of how similar the exhaust systems are and how you truly need to do other mods to kind of make up for that extra horsepower that you guys are looking for. So it's a very common thing that people come in here and they're confused sometimes, or sometimes I'll post dyno graphs and dyno videos and they're like, wait a minute, well, my bike made 189 and this guy only did 185, and then you know, we had the same exhaust system, you know, but there's other mods that you guys can do. Chain and sprockets is one of those mods that will pick up power, okay? You will physically pick up horsepower on the dyno with a lightweight chain and sprocket kit, okay? I promise you that. I've tested it many times. So, all right, but with that, let's go over the numbers real quick. So he came in, just to recap, 158 wheel and 76 pound-foot of torque here. That was that blue line. You know, this is a typical kind of power curve with a stock system, to be honest with you. After we installed the exhaust system and the air filter, we bumped up to 159 wheel horsepower with 78 pound-foot of torque. But notice we're still, it's mainly because we just have this restriction that's coming into play. But overall, we made pretty significant jumps. You know, he picked up a good, 9 wheel horsepower here in the mid-range just from swapping out that exhaust system and the air filter. So very good gains just from that. But guys, as you very well know, you gotta get the tune if you really want to see the numbers and you really want to make the most out of your bike. You gotta tune it. You gotta flash it. You gotta tune it. All right. I'm gonna say that until I'm blue in the face. Final numbers here on this bike, we ended up at 183 wheel horsepower with 82 pound-foot of torque. And as you can see here, we still picked up a little bit more in this low end going into mid-range. The AFRs got really out of whack here with that other exhaust system, or with the aftermarket exhaust system here with the M4. So we got it, we brought it all back in. Let me highlight this so it's a little easier to see. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, we have it on this green line now, pretty damn flat. We got a nice air fuel. We also play with a little bit of the ignition timing, some of the throttle mapping. So we were able to get this real nice linear power band and a really nice flat torque curve. I love this torque curve. This is especially why these bikes are insanely great. They feel incredible when you're on it. They have a very linear power band, a very flat torque curve, and that makes for a rowdy bike. He came in at 147. This is at 13,000 RPM, guys. 147 is how he came in. He's leaving with 183 wheel horsepower, substantial gains. What is that? 38 wheel horsepower gains, something like 36 wheel horsepower gains. Sorry, 36 horsepower gains, and let's see, he came in at 59, leaving with 74. So he's going to leave with about 15 pound-foot of torque, increased here at that 13,000 RPM mark. Again, gains everywhere, guys. I mean, there's really no bad thing to this. You know, if you want to compare how he came in versus how he's leaving, just massive gains across the board. You know, he's going to feel all of this. He's already called us on the phone, thanked us. He's so appreciative of what we've done for him and how much power we were able to pull out of this bike. And you know, it means the world to us, honestly, just to get those phone calls, guys. It really does. This guy has been a great customer of ours. Couldn't say enough good things about him, but we're very glad that he's happy, very glad that he chose us, and that we were able to prove to him that we are the go-to shop, and we know what we're doing, and you know, it's good to hear the feedback from the customers. So now, this is really what I wanted to go over with you guys. All right, let's leave up the final number. Let's take off the baseline, okay? So here's our curve. Beautiful looking curve. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely picturesque of what you want that power curve to look like. Just absolutely beautiful. So, and now mind you, these are stock stacks. We haven't even modified the velocity stacks. If we modified these velocity stacks and we gave them a badass stack here, we modify the OEM ones. We have Carbon Smith stacks in stock. We have the Venturi stacks in stock. So we have an array to choose from. But if you went with a Venturi or a modified stock, you'd see a little bit of gains starting around this 11.5 point, and it would basically carry all the way to redline. And if you did the Carbon Smiths, you'd lose a little bit of power right here. you'd lose a couple horsepower right here, but then you'd pick it all back up right here at this end point. So a lot of our roll race guys, drag race guys, this is kind of where we're trying to push them, is to those carbon Smith stacks, because they do hold that power band better up top. But let's go now to the other guy with the full Acra air filter, but just stock chain and sprocket at the time. So here is his graph, okay? He made 181 wheel horsepower with 81 pound-foot of torque. So we made an additional 2 wheel horsepower and 1 pound-foot of torque, peak versus peak, okay? Now look at the low end. I don't know if this is due to the chain and sprocket, or if this is gonna be due to the exhaust systems or what, but either way, we still saw gains, or there is a difference of, rather, a 4 wheel horsepower difference and a 3 pound-foot of torque difference at 6,000 RPM. So this is where a lot of people, this is kind of where the excitement begins, is around 6,000 to 7,000 with a lot of you guys. So that is something to really consider if you guys are out there having fun with your buddies, you're racing, you know, you're drag racing, you're roll racing, whatever. That's something to take into consideration, okay? Look at the 7,000 RPM mark now too. You pick up another 3 wheel horsepower, so 2.5 wheel horsepower, and another 2 pound-foot of torque here. So I know you're saying that's not much, but every little bit counts. I'm telling you right now. So between your rider mod, your power to weight ratio, right? So your horsepower, and then you got your weight. Those are the 3 things that you can really control on the bike, and your aerodynamics. I'm sorry, 4 things. You got your aerodynamics too, but those are the things that you can really control on the bike, right? When you compare those things with this guy, or with these 2 graphs, if you just take these 2 graphs and you compare apples to apples with these graphs, I can promise you that the guy with the full M4, the green graph, okay, this green graph right here, this green one, he's going to win the race every single time unless he makes a mistake, okay? Because throughout this entire power band, the whole power band, he makes more power than the one in the red, okay? So if you were to, again, to compare apples to apples, this guy in the green, the guy with the full M4 titanium system with the Sprint PO8, and he's got the chain and sprocket, the 520 kit that we set him up on. He will win that race every single time because he makes a little bit more power throughout that power band and a little bit more torque. He's gonna basically inch away from the other guy, just like this. He's just gonna keep pulling, just like that, all right? Now, up top here, when you look at this very, very peak, or at red line area, they're about the damn same. There's really not a major difference up here, but again, the rest of this curve, he's making more power consistently through the whole curve. You know, look, even right here, 4 more wheel. Seems to be consistent, about 4 horsepower. Right here, about 3 horsepower. Let's look at 12,000 RPM. 12,000 RPM, again, another 3 horsepower. So again, guys, that one, that 2024 with the full M4, he is going to inch away the entire race. There's not gonna be any of this like pullback or anything like that. Both of the air fuels are basically identical. They're both dialed in. So again, I just wanted to show you guys what those little differences make. So you have all of these little components that kind of add horsepower, right? I mean, you have you can do lightweight wheels, you can do ceramic wheel bearings, you can do chain and sprockets, you can do, again, different type of exhaust, but for the most part, when you kind of get to that higher level on exhaust systems, they are, for the most part, I don't want to chew my words here, swallow my words, but for the most part, they are identical, okay? They're going to be very similar in the way they produce power, okay? So keep that in your mind. There's definitely going to be some small differences among some of the other exhaust systems, but that was just something that I had that was very fresh, and I wanted to show you guys that and give you guys some inside information, okay? These are the things that we analyze to make us faster at the track and on the road and all these things. These are the little things that we analyze with each bike. We notate everything, we see what they do, and then we're like, interesting. Then we take that into our database, and then we start analyzing other bikes that come in here. Interesting, that bike made this with this setup. Interesting. So then we can do these types of things where we're overlaying other types of graphs, and we're saying, all right, this is kind of what this did, this is what this did, this is what this did, and we see, is that consistent? Is that a consistent test? Is that consistently giving us those answers? If yes, let's roll with it. This is a proven product. We can put our name behind it. We can say this works. We can say all those good things, right? So that's what I love here. That's what I love doing here at the shop. And yeah, this is what we provide for you guys, because show me any other shop that's going to do this. Show me any other YouTube channel that's going to break stuff down like that for you guys. I don't think anyone's doing that. That's just me. I don't think anyone does. Could be wrong, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know anybody that's going to hold up 2 different graphs like that and walk you through and explain how that works. So with that, if you guys could, if you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We really appreciate the support, guys. We really, really do. We love you guys. Thank you for all the feedback that you've been giving us. We're getting ready to gear up for all race season, so we've got a couple of badass bikes going on and a couple of badass builds going on in the shop. Stay tuned. We have a real street all motor bike that's getting ready to be done with a big old Busa motor in it. So we're getting ready to tune that thing on M5. So it's going to be on a full max ECU standalone. Big shout out to everyone who's been helping us with all that stuff too. So, but we'll end it on that note, guys, and we'll shut it down. If you can, drop a comment down below. Tell us what exhaust system you like better, and tell us what you think about these graphs. Tell us what you think about the power bands, okay? Let's interact. Let's have a conversation, guys, all right? On that, we love you guys. We'll see you on another episode.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta say